I paid $22,000 to learn I was never part of my family. When my mother said, "We already went, only for family," I finally understood. I'd been funding my own funeral for years. What would you have done when you heard those words? The divorce papers were still warm when I made the reservation. 6 months of sleeping on a mattress on the floor. Eating ramen, signing my life away in lawyers' offices. I needed something to hold on to. Something that proved I wasn't completely alone. Hawaii. 2 weeks. 8 people. My parents, my 2 brothers, their wives, their kids. I wanted to see my nieces build sandcastles. I wanted my mother to smile at me the way she smiled in old photographs, before I became the daughter who failed at marriage. $22,000. I had to pull from my retirement account. Pay the penalty. Worth it, I told myself, staring at the confirmation email at 2 a.m., my ex-husband's last text still glowing on my phone. "You were always too much for everyone." I called my mother 3 weeks before departure. "Mom? I wanted to talk about Hawaii. What time should I meet you at the airport?" Silence. Not the thoughtful kind. The careful kind. "Louisa." Her voice had that edge, the one from childhood when I'd asked for something inconvenient. "We already went. Last week." My apartment was so quiet I could hear my neighbor's TV through the wall. "A game show." Applause. "What?" "Your father found a better deal for last week. You know how he is with prices." My bank app was still open on my laptop. The charge, $21,847.32. Posted 6 weeks ago. "I paid for it, Mom." "We know, sweetie. And we're so grateful. The kids had such a wonderful time. I'll send you pictures." Something in my chest cracked. Not dramatic. Not cinematic. Just a small quiet break, like a bone that doesn't hurt until you try to use it. "Why didn't you tell me you changed the dates?" Another pause. Longer. I heard my father's voice in the background, muffled. "Louisa, it was only for family. You've been so sad lately. We thought you'd bring the mood down." The applause from next door swelled. Someone had won something. I looked at my bank account. My retirement fund gutted. My savings evaporated. I had paid $22,000 for my family to take a vacation without me. Should she have seen this coming? I didn't hang up. I should have. Instead, I sat there, phone pressed to my ear, listening to my mother breathe. "Louisa? Are you still there?" I was looking at my reflection in the black laptop screen. 34 years old. Hair I hadn't washed in 3 days. My ex-husband's t-shirt that I kept meaning to throw away. "Send me the pictures," I heard myself say. "Oh, wonderful. I knew you'd understand. You've always been so reasonable about these things." Reasonable. The word my family used when they meant compliant. She hung up first. I sat there for 11 minutes. I know because I watched the clock on my microwave count them. My coffee went cold in my hand. I didn't drink it. I didn't move. Then my phone buzzed. Facebook Messenger. The album was called Family Paradise 2024, with a sun emoji and a palm tree. I opened it. 43 photos. My mother in a sundress I'd never seen, holding a Mai Tai at sunset. My father snorkeling, giving a thumbs up to the camera. My brothers playing volleyball on a beach so white it hurt to look at. My nieces, the ones I'd bought Christmas presents for, the ones I babysat for free, burying my sister-in-law in sand, laughing with their whole bodies. Every single photo was tagged. Every single person was identified. Except the person who paid for it. I scrolled to the comments. "Best family trip ever. So blessed to have this time together. Nothing better than family red heart." My brother Jason had written, "Thanks Mom and Dad for making this happen." 47 likes. I clicked on the date stamp. Posted 4 days ago. They'd been back for 3 days before my mother bothered to tell me they'd already gone. Something happened to me then. Not rage. Not yet. Something colder. I opened my banking app. Not just the Hawaii charge. I scrolled back. Months. Years. Rent for my parents' apartment. $1,800 monthly. Every month. For 3 years. My brother's car payment after his business failed. $520 monthly. 18 months. My mother's credit card, the one I'd promised to help her pay off, just until Social Security kicked in. $12,000. Still not paid off. Physical therapy for my father's back. $3,400. Laptop for my nephew's college. $1,800. Lawyer fees for Jason's custody battle. $8,000. I scrolled until my thumb went numb. The total appeared at the bottom of my spreadsheet app. $186,341. For 7 years I had been their ATM. And they couldn't even tell me they'd left me behind. Should she stop here or finish what she started? I stopped going to work. Not dramatically. Called in sick. Used my PDA hours. Then my vacation days. Then I just stopped answering when HR called. My apartment became a cave. Curtains drawn. Phone on silent. I ordered groceries once. Left them rotting in bags by the door because unpacking them felt like agreeing to stay alive. I lived on my laptop. Spreadsheets. Bank statements going back 7 years. I had kept everything. Every Venmo request, every text saying just this once. Every promise to pay me back that evaporated like morning fog. The numbers told a story my family never would. $186,341 over 7 years. An average of $26,620 per year. $2,218 per month. $72 per day. Every single day for 7 years, I had given them the cost of my own dignity. I made a document. 47 pages. Every transaction dated, categorized, annotated with the excuse they'd given me. Dad's back surgery. Elective procedure. Not covered because he'd refused the recommended physical therapy. Mom's credit card emergency. Shopping spree for new furniture I saw tagged in Facebook photos. Jason needs help just this once. Louisa, your family is worried. Your mother says you're not returning calls. I laughed. Sounded like something breaking. My mother is worried about her wallet walking away. Silence on the line. Then, what happened? I told her about Hawaii. The whole thing. When I finished, I heard her exhale slowly. Louisa, I need to ask you something and I need you to really hear me. What would happen if you just stopped? Stopped what? Paying for them. All of it. What if you just closed your wallet? The question hung in the air like smoke. I never considered it. Stopping felt like betrayal. Stopping felt like becoming the selfish daughter they'd always implied I was. Stopping felt like admitting I'd wasted 7 years and nearly $200,000 on people who saw me as a resource, not a daughter. They'd hate me, I whispered. Louisa. Her voice was gentle, devastating. Do they love you now? That night I Googled 3 things. Financial abuse by family members. How to stop enabling adult relatives. Elder law attorneys near me. The last search result glowed on my screen. Cordova and Associates. Protecting your assets from family exploitation. I clicked. Then I filled out the contact form. In the message box I typed 6 words. I need to save myself now. At 11:47 p.m. I pressed send. Was this revenge? Or survival? The lawyer's office smelled like leather and old money, the kind of place my family would never set foot in unless they were being sued. Margaret Cordova was 60, silver-haired, with eyes that had seen every flavor of family betrayal. She didn't shake my hand. She slid a box of tissues across her desk and said, "Tell me everything. Don't leave out the parts that make you look bad." So I did. When I finished, she leaned back in her chair. Ms. Mercer, in my 28 years practicing law, I've seen this exact pattern 40, maybe 50 times. Adult children, usually daughters, bankrolling their entire family's lifestyle while their own. Louisa, your family is worried. Your mother says you're not returning calls. I laughed. Sounded like something breaking. My mother is worried about her wallet walking away. Silence on the line. Then, what happened? I told her about Hawaii. The whole thing. When I finished, I heard her exhale slowly. Louisa, I need to ask you something and I need you to really hear me. What would happen if you just stopped? Stopped what? Paying for them. All of it. What if you just closed your wallet? The question hung in the air like smoke. I never considered it. Stopping felt like betrayal. Stopping felt like becoming the selfish daughter they'd always implied I was. Stopping felt like admitting I'd wasted 7 years and nearly $200,000 on people who saw me as a resource, not a daughter. They'd hate me, I whispered. Louisa. Her voice was gentle, devastating. Do they love you now? That night I Googled 3 things. Financial abuse by family members. How to stop enabling adult relatives. Elder law attorneys near me. The last search result glowed on my screen. Cordova and Associates. Protecting your assets from family exploitation. I clicked. Then I filled out the contact form. In the message box I typed 6 words. I need to save myself now. At 11:47 p.m. I pressed send. Was this revenge? Or survival? The lawyer's office smelled like leather and old money, the kind of place my family would never set foot in unless they were being sued. Margaret Cordova was 60, silver-haired, with eyes that had seen every flavor of family betrayal. She didn't shake my hand. She slid a box of tissues across her desk and said, "Tell me everything. Don't leave out the parts that make you look bad." So I did. When I finished, she leaned back in her chair. Ms. Mercer, in my 28 years practicing law, I've seen this exact pattern 40, maybe 50 times. Adult children, usually daughters, bankrolling their entire family's lifestyle while their own lives fall apart. What do? You stop. Immediately. Today. She pulled out a legal pad. No explanations. No justifications. You don't owe them a dissertation on boundaries. You just stop the money. My hands were shaking. They'll call. They will. You won't answer. They'll show up at my apartment. You won't open the door. They'll say I'm abandoning them. That I'm cruel. That family doesn't do this to family. Margaret looked at me with something like pity. Ms. Mercer, family didn't do this to you? That afternoon I made the calls. Bank first. Removed my parents as authorized users on my credit card. The representative asked if I was sure 3 times. I'm sure. Autopay cancellations. My father's car insurance. My mother's phone bill. Jason's Netflix, Hulu and Spotify. Every single automatic payment, 19 in total, deleted with clinical precision. By 4 p.m. I had severed every financial artery. Then I waited. The first call came at 6:17 p.m. My mother. I let it ring. Voicemail. Louisa, honey, there's something wrong with my phone bill. Can you check on that? Second call, 6:45 p.m. My father. I watched his name light up my screen. Voicemail. Louisa, your mother's upset. Call us back. Third call, 7:30 p.m. Jason. Voicemail. What the hell, Lou? My car insurance lapsed. I have court tomorrow. Fix this. I sat on my couch, phone face down, counting my breaths. At 9:22 p.m. my mother texted. This isn't funny. We're family. Call me right now. I turned off my phone. For the first time in 7 years I slept through the night. In the morning I had 37 missed calls and a new email from Margaret. They'll escalate. Are you ready? I wrote back 2 words. I'm ready. The war had begun. Was cutting them off cruel or just, they showed up on a Tuesday. All of them. My parents, both brothers, even my sister-in-law Diane, who'd never said more than 10 words to me at any family gathering. I watched through the peephole as they knocked. Then pounded. Then my mother's voice, shrill and wounded. Louisa Marie Mercer, open this door right now. I'd been warned. Margaret had prepared me for this exact moment. I called the police non-emergency line. There are people at my door refusing to leave. I've asked them not to come. I feel unsafe. The dispatcher's voice was calm. Are they family members? Yes. Ma'am, we can send an officer, but unless they're threatening violence. My brother Jason kicked the door. Once. Twice. They're kicking my door. Officer en route. They were gone by the time the police arrived, but they'd left something. An envelope taped to my door. Inside a letter. My mother's handwriting, the same loops and slants from birthday cards and grocery lists. Louisa, we don't understand why you're doing this. After everything we've done for you. We raised you, fed you, loved you. Is this how you repay us? By abandoning us when we need you most? Your father's health isn't good. My medications aren't free. Jason is trying to rebuild his life. We thought family meant something to you. If you won't help us anymore, at least give us what you owe us. We've calculated 7 years of rent you never paid us while living at home after college. $42,000. We'll accept payments. I read it 3 times. Then I called Margaret. They want me to pay them rent from 15 years ago. She didn't sound surprised. They're setting up a counterclaim. If you sue them or they try for conservatorship, they'll argue you owe them. It's a classic move. I was 23. I worked full-time. I bought my own groceries. Doesn't matter. They're creating a narrative. Ungrateful daughter abandons generous parents. My hands were shaking again. What do? We do what we planned. We document everything. And Louisa. Her voice softened. I need you to prepare yourself. When we go through discovery, we're going to find things. Things that will hurt. Worse than this. Yes. She was right. 2 weeks later, Margaret's investigator sent his report. My family had remortgaged my parents' house, the one I'd been paying rent on for 3 years, and used my payment history as proof of income to qualify for the loan. They'd taken out $75,000. I had been collateral for their lies. The Hawaii trip? They'd started planning it 14 months before they told me. Group chat screenshots, all of them debating whether to invite me. Jason's message. She'll just cry about Mark the whole time. My mother's response. But she'll pay for it if we let her think she's invited. Diane. Tell her last minute we changed dates? My father perfect. 47 messages planning my exclusion. I paid for the privilege of being erased. Should she have forgiven them or finished them? Her name was Patricia. 62. Silver bob. Kind eyes that had seen the same war. We met in Margaret's waiting room, both clutching folders thick with evidence of family betrayal. First time, she asked. Is it that obvious? She smiled. You still look angry. That fades. We had coffee after our appointments. She told me her story. 3 adult sons, 20 years of bail money and rent payments. A final straw involving a forged signature on a reverse mortgage. I haven't spoken to them in 5 years, she said, stirring her latte. Best 5 years of my life. Don't you miss them? I missed who I thought they were. But those people never existed. She looked at me carefully. You're still hoping they'll apologize. That they'll realize what they did and come back different. My throat tightened. Is that stupid? It's human. But Louisa, they won't. They'll get angrier. They'll try guilt, then rage, then medical emergencies. My son claimed he had cancer twice. Twice. Both times lies to get me to wire money. How did you survive it? She pulled out her phone. Showed me photos, a garden. A trip to Portugal. A pottery class. Her. Laughing with friends I'd never seen before. I built a life that didn't require their approval. It was terrifying at first, like learning to breathe different air. But then. She paused. Then I realized I'd been holding my breath for 60 years. Before we parted, she wrote her number on a napkin. Call me when it gets hard. And it will get hard. They'll find your breaking point and push. That night my father left a voicemail. Your mother's in the hospital. Heart problems. If something happens to her, it's on you. I listened to it once. Then I called Patricia. She answered on the first ring. Tell me what they said. So I did. And for the first time in months I didn't cry alone. Was this weakness, or the first real strength she'd ever shown? My mother wasn't in the hospital. I knew because I called. Gave them her name, date of birth. The nurse was confused. We have no patient by that name, ma'am. I should have felt vindicated. Instead, I felt something worse, tempted. What if next time it's real? What if she actually dies and my last act was ignoring her? The guilt was a living thing eating me from inside. Margaret called 3 days later. They've filed for emergency conservatorship, claiming you're mentally unstable post-divorce, making irrational financial decisions that endanger the family. My stomach dropped. Can they do that? They can try. They're using your therapist visits as evidence. Your time off work. They're painting you as incompetent. That's insane. That's strategic. Papers rustled on her end. Louisa, they've also submitted documents showing you as co-signer on your parents' house. If they win conservatorship, they get control of your assets, including any claim on that property. I couldn't breathe. I never co-signed anything. Then they forged your signature. We'll prove it, but... She paused. There's something else. They're offering a settlement. Drop everything, sign over $50,000 as reimbursement for caregiving. and they'll withdraw the conservatorship. $50,000 to make it stop. To not fight. To go back to being invisible and compliant. What happens if I don't settle? We go to court. It gets ugly. Your entire life examined. But Louisa will win. I thought about Patricia's garden. Her 5 years of peace. I thought about my mother's voice. Only for family. I thought about the $186,341 I'd already lost. No settlement, I said. I want my day in court. Good. Margaret's voice held something like pride. Because they're about to learn you're not their ATM anymore. Discovery starts Monday. This is where we destroy them. Had she become what she hated, or finally what she needed? The courtroom was smaller than I'd imagined. Fluorescent lights. Beige walls. My family sat across the aisle like strangers. My mother wore pearls. My father, his funeral suit. They looked like victims. Judge Morrison was a woman in her 50s with reading glasses and zero patience. She reviewed the files for 7 minutes in silence. Ms. Mercer, your family is seeking conservatorship based on claims of mental instability and financial incompetence. They allege you've made irrational decisions that endanger both yourself and them. She looked up. How do you respond? Margaret stood. Your Honor, we have evidence that tells a different story. The documents came out like bullets. Bank statements showing $186,341 in transfers over 7 years. The Hawaii reservation, my credit card, their vacation. The group chat screenshots blown up on a screen. She'll pay for it if we let her think she's invited. My mother's face went white. The forged cosigner documents. A handwriting analyst testified. Not my signature. Their attorney tried to spin it. Ms. Mercer voluntarily supported her family. These were gifts. Margaret was ready. Gifts? Or exploitation? Ms. Mercer's income barely covered her own rent. She drained her retirement account. Meanwhile, her family remortgaged their home using her payment history fraudulently. Judge Morrison removed her glasses. Mr. and Mrs. Mercer, did you or did you not exclude your daughter from a vacation she financed? My mother's voice was small. We thought she was too sad. After her divorce. So you took her money and left her behind. Silence. Did you inform her you changed the dates? We were going to. Yes or no? No. The judge looked at me for the first time. Really looked. Ms. Mercer, do you want a relationship with these people? The question hung in the air. Everyone waited. I thought about Patricia's garden. My empty apartment. 7 years of receipts. No, Your Honor, I said. I don't. Was this justice or just goodbye? 1 year later I booked a trip. Not Hawaii. Never Hawaii. Portugal. The same place Patricia had shown me in photos. I stayed in a small coastal town where no one knew my name or what I'd survived. I learned to make pottery badly, and laughed about it with strangers who became friends. My savings account had a balance for the first time in a decade. $47,000. Not much, but mine. The court had ruled in my favor. Conservatorship denied. Restraining order granted. My family was legally barred from contacting me for financial assistance. Margaret sent the final invoice with a note. You won. Now stay one. The calls still came sometimes. Blocked numbers. Voicemails I never listened to. My father's handwriting on an envelope I threw away unopened. Patricia and I had lunch every Sunday. She taught me what she'd learned. That saying no was a complete sentence. That solitude wasn't loneliness. That the people who call you selfish are usually the ones who benefited from your selflessness. On my last night in Portugal, I sat on a beach at sunset. The water was impossibly blue. My phone buzzed. A voicemail from an unknown number. I almost deleted it. Instead, I listened. My father's voice, cracked and older. Louisa, your mother. She wants to apologize. We all do. We didn't understand what we. Please, call us back. I sat there holding my phone, watching waves erase footprints in the sand. 7 years. $186,341. One Hawaii trip I'll never take. The cost of learning I was never the problem. I pressed delete. Then I turned off my phone, ordered another glass of wine, and watched the sun set over water I'd paid for myself. Some families are born Some are chosen. And some, the most important ones, are built in the quiet after you finally walk away. Was revenge worth it? Thanks for watching my story till the end. Subscribe for more interesting revenge stories.